So I would say that about 1 out of 3 appointments that I go on, I'm breaking down their own budget. Like literally going through, how much they owe on their credit cards, or their car loans, their student loans, or their medical loans, right? And trying to break it down. Like in this example, right? They want $550. The house is really worth $500. They owe $350, right? For closing costs and commissions, they got $115,000 in equity. Now they want to go buy a house for $400, and put 20% down. It's like $80,000 down. So you're like, oh, well, you got $115,000 a year, and you got $80,000 down on the new house. Like, we're winning. And they're like, well, actually, no, because I got $25K in credit card, right? I got to pay off my lender, so they need to pay off the truck, right? And do that. And then I also, it's going to take at least $10K to make the move, right? With movers and trucks and all that bit, right? And then, I also want to make sure that I give my grandchild $20,000 for them to go buy their own first home, right? Because I made a commitment to them. So actuality, you add this all in, 30, 42, is that 42, 67, plus the 80, right? You don't have enough money to do it, right? And so, what in essence, what they're doing is they're using their house as like an ATM machine, right? And that's cool, and it is what it is. But like breaking down their budgets, right? And figuring out what their payments are going to be. It's like, okay, great. Well, what if you kept this and you kept this, right? Or if you consolidated this debt, right? How are you going to get from A to B? And being able to explain that math to them. You're like, okay, great. Well, I'm worried I'm not going to have enough. If I don't put enough money down and have mortgage insurance, I'm not going to be able to make my payments on the next house. So then it's like, okay, great. Well, you mind if I ask you some personal financial questions, right? Like, yes, okay, great. So, how much money do you make? Well, I'm on Social Security, and I get $2,500 a month there. And then I got a pension, right? And I get about $2,200 a month there. And then my husband gets another, $1,500, right? So altogether, we're 47, 52, 62, all right? So we got $6,200 a month, right? And the next place is, have a high interest rates, right? At 320, even without mortgage insurance, is going to cost me $2,800 a month, right? So I really only have here $3,200 a month to play with, right? And see, the thing is you're like, well, actually $3,200 a month, we pay some of this off, not all of it. We'd start obviously probably with a credit card because that's your highest rate. The truck's probably low because you've had it a long time, so you probably have a decent interest rate on it, right? And you could save money for your child, or there's different ways of structuring this, right? But this conversation, I probably have at least a third of the time, half of the time, because people don't know what their numbers are. They don't run a budget. They don't think of it that way. Money comes in, money goes out. They owe money, they pay money. They don't think about it, right? They don't actually ever do the math. And so as a real estate broker, they're like, hey, just sign the contract, we'll sell the house. That's not going to get you from A to B. You want to be a great broker, you need to be able to articulate their budget, their expenses, the move, in a way that allows them to see it all, right? And really become more like a financial planner in a moment, because you're about to play with their biggest financial asset they have.